going through the motions, always running back to lane after dying, moving in lane with no thought process as to why, etc. So today, that's what we're going to cover using multiple different replays. So first off, let's begin by saying that we have no cure for fixing autopilot. The best advice we can give is that every single decision you make has to have reason behind it. So let's jump into a game where I'm playing Zed on my Gold Smurf vs Pyke and go over some obvious autopilot decisions from him. Let's start with a really small but very popular example of autopilot. We're both level 1, I walk up for these 2 CS and try to hit Pyke with my Q. I miss, and now I have to walk up for this melee minion. In high elo, I'm going to get punished for this because Pyke has his Q and I don't, so he should hit me with it. But in this elo, watch what Pyke does. He uses Q on the range minion for no reason, then walks up and auto attacks me in my wave. So how do we know this is autopilot? Because he has no possible reasoning for doing these things. Players in this elo use their abilities to grab CS for no reason all the time. And when they are trading, they aren't thinking about the minion wave and they just trade to trade. Pyke could have punished me by using his Q and auto attacking that minion and then backed off. He wouldn't draw any minion aggro, and I would have no way of trading back because I had to use my auto on the CS and my Q was down. He's going to take more damage than me when auto attacking my wave, so it was just terrible and had no reasoning behind it. Then right after that, we can see the opposite of autopilot. Most players don't have any reasoning on why they're standing where they are in the lane, and they're just clicking around mindlessly. So watch my positioning in this clip. I walk right up to this low health blue minion that I know Pyke needs to walk up for since his Q is down. My Q is coming up, so I wait for him to walk up to it, and since I'm in position already to punish, I just press Q for some free poke, then auto him as well. Then he's going to hit level 2 before me, so I'm standing back, playing safe since I'm at a level disadvantage. While I'm doing that, he dashes in with his E, then charges his Q and pulls me towards him. So let's pause. If you were me, what would you do now? A common autopilot mistake players make is they get hit by abilities and immediately get scared and run away, especially if they're at a health disadvantage, because they aren't thinking about the situation. Right here, Pyke just used both of his abilities. Even though I'm lower health, I still have my Q coming up in 2 seconds and my E that I'm about to level up. And on top of that, my passive will give me extra damage when he drops below 50% health. So instead of running, I'm going to go all in and win it very easily. It wasn't even close. And the Pyke fighting me there was even more autopilot. He knows he just used both of his abilities and I didn't use any, but he's not thinking about it. He's just going through the motions, and a high elo player will punish you hard for it. When he gets back to lane, I have a pretty big health disadvantage and he has a huge minion wave. I definitely can't fight him. But if we look at the minimap, my Jarvan is pathing towards mid to gank for me. So I walk towards the top rush like this. If we pause here, it should be very obvious that I'm baiting for a gank. Why would I walk up like this with half health and walk towards top river? But the autopilot just makes Pyke do what he would always do when he has a health advantage, just like we saw in the previous clip. I walk at the cannon to grab it and bait Pyke in, and he uses his E dashing right into my Jarvan, and I use my W to dodge his stun, netting us a very easy kill and his flash. So in just 1 minute and a half of laning, this Pyke is 0-2 and the lane is completely over, because he's not thinking at all. So let's look at another example. This next game is from the same account in gold, and I'm playing a